What's going on, people? L.A.R movement still moving. I'm gonna be a little bit more serious with this. Um, I'm saying a lot already. BGS put up something for me about Carol Quigley talking about individualism. If you go on his page, you'll see it. For whoever watches this video, this is partially where this comes from. So on the restream or whatever, y'all know why I'm going here with this. The state of the black family. I was talking on the panels with George, Dana, Kendra, the SYSBM. We've been talking, my guy O'Shea, we've been rocking for years on this stuff and the SYSBM thing and everything. DJ Marzi Field, what's good, fam? And when it comes to these gender conversations and family conversations, what's going on, Devin? Kenny, what's popping? Camp Low, what's good, fam? A lot of people think gender war, but this is all going to be about the black family and what the breakdown in the family created all of this animosity, in my opinion. Thanks, Amon. Goku, what's going on? Edward, what's good? So I'm going to start where it bothers a lot of us, right? Because America is full of capitalism. The state of the black family messes with the finances because everybody needs to be individuals and do everything. What's going on, Tony? Everybody needs to be an individual and go and get theirs. I remember they used to get on Tupac in the 90s. I got to get mine. You got to get yours. Nico, what's up? So the money comes into play because the family is broken, the finances are broken, right? So we have families that are broken that can only financially support one, two, or a few family members who are young, and expecting those family members to come back and support the collective, without ever thinking about who they sabotage in the meantime. Now, maybe they felt like it was the best decision to make by supporting one person because they felt like they had the most potential. That would be very much so understandable. But when we use the stereotype, we don't support the people who have the most potential to be successful in the family dynamic. We support the people who we like the most. Harambe, what's going on? We support the people who we like the most and not who may be the most productive. So that's who you financially support. And then we leave the people who wind up having the most potential off to their own devices. So it's a hit or miss. I don't care if these people are just smart or they're talented, right? No matter how you slice it, the vast majority of those people made a way on their own with little to no guidance. And it's one thing to go out into the world and make your own way with the support of your family. It's another when you don't have it. So financially, you don't have the support. And this is where a lot of this stuff comes from, because I think what's not being spoken about is the crack between the men and the women is we're not liking the way that the family has been made in America. What's up, Igon? What's happening, fam? We're not liking the way that the family is set up in America. The men don't like it because it's ineffective, and the stereotype is the women like it even though it's ineffective. And financially, it plays out this way. As far as most people aren't married, why? Because, and most people get divorced because of finance. But ironically, Manny, what's good? But ironically, what's the way to wealth, the quickest way to wealth in America is home ownership. Normally, home ownership is family oriented, father, mother, children, right? Two incomes, right? We think of a household income. The household income in America is like 67,000 or 72,000. When they say that's the average household income, they're talking about people who are cohabitating or married. That's a household, man, woman, children, right? And we like to give these blanket things about how many people we need to get with a partner that makes X amount of dollars. If we took the thousands of millionaires and billionaires, because it's only thousands, it's not like 100,000, it's thousands, right? Epic was good. If we took the thousands of millionaires and billionaires off of the table, the median household income in America would probably mess around and be like $40,000. Okay, so this idea we need to meet people who make a certain amount of money instead of two people coming together and growing with their finances is part of the problem. You want to be an individual, and you were taught to be an individual, which I get it, right? But here's the thing about being an individual financially. It's more expensive. When you get a 1-bedroom apartment, it's going to be more expensive than if you had a 2-bedroom apartment and a roommate. That's what it is. If you had a 3-bedroom apartment and 2 roommates, it's going to be more expensive. So this is the state of the Black family. Live the most expensive life out on your own. And don't ever come together with somebody. Which causes this complex where people are preying on each other. I'm trying to get stuff for you. What's up, Donnell, man? Unconventional, what's going on? So now I need to come up off of you because I can afford to live on my own, but I might be struggling. So the family taught you to struggle. Go get it on your own. But financially, you taught the boys and girls 2 different things. All right, Nigel, what's going on? You taught the boys and girls 2 different things. You taught the boys he had to be a provider. He wasn't a man if he didn't make money. But you also taught the boy you didn't care how he made it. Whether it was an honest day's work or an illegal day's work, you didn't care how he made it. So you didn't care if he put his life in jeopardy to make money because, if he didn't have stuff, he wasn't a man. And then you taught the girls, you got to make money so you don't have to depend on no man. So here's the problem with us financially, because this is what the family taught us financially. Nobody is ever going to give anything to the boy. Nobody is ever going to help the boy financially. But same thing with the women, unconventional, thank you. Nobody's going to help. Nobody's going to help the men financially. If somebody gives you money, that makes you less than. If somebody helps you financially, that makes you less than. Aubrey, what's going on? Emmanuel. Yeah, but with the girls, no. You're supposed to go out and be independent. Get your own. But you're supposed to find a man that has more than you. Or get men around you for a useful skill, because we talk about guys cheating physically. We're raised to let the women cheat financially. Let me do things that help her life and make her save money, even though she was taught to not do anything for me. So financially, I'm always giving to her. Financially, she's always taking from me. But this is what's taught. But if she's an angel, she'll do something for you out of kindness of her heart. She wasn't taught to reciprocate. I'm not dissing the women. I'm just saying what it is. Because this is the relationship aspect about the Black family, the state of the Black family. We were taught to use each other. I take that back. We were taught to misuse each other. I was thinking about something because during this thought process, I saw a clip from Steve Harvey when a woman, she was looking for a man. But she was dating 3 men. One man, he's a handyman. He's her Mr. Fix It. Now she was married for 11 years, got divorced, then she's single, and she's happy that she got 3 men. So she had one man who was a handyman, another man who was the money man, and the third man that melted her heart, as she said. Steve Harvey asked her, what did the third guy do? So in a smooth way, she basically said he was a dope boy. And he was like, so, you shouldn't be with all 3 of the guys, because you don't like the guy who's the handyman. You don't like the guy who has the money, but you're in love with the guy who's the dope boy. Like, so you really don't want to be with none of them, because she liked the dope boy more, but she don't want that life. The other guys were marriage material, right? But she didn't want that. That's what melts her heart. Problem. And I was thinking about that also with the black family, because we talk about the women liking the wrong men. Us as men, we have a tendency to like the wrong women. We're not liking women that you can build a family with. We're liking women, we can have a good sex life with. That's what the community is based on. Hedonism. Our relationships that we were taught about family were not based in teamwork. They were based in hedonism. So guess what? You wonder why the family is fractured? Because we're doing what we want to do when we want to do it, with no obligation to another person. And I'm gonna say something quick about going back to the Lonnie Love and the cheating thing. This just happens in general between men and women. They say the men cheat, as if the men aren't cheating with women. So if the men are cheating, they're cheating with women who are cheaters. So this idea that one group is bad and the other group is just a victim is a complete utter lie. That's the problem. Malik, what's good? Now, when we get to this power dynamic, the state of the black family has a power dynamic. And the problem with this power dynamic is it's about the kids. The power is who has control of the children. Predominantly the women. That's an American thing. Not a black thing, but now it's an American thing. It's an American thing, not a black thing. But when I listen to the sisters talk about this online, they want the men to have power. And whether they know it or not, one of the ways these men are trying to get power is to get power over their own families. And this is the problem. It's a send-off to tell black men, you need to go get power out in the world and conquer the world and fight the white man and fight the system. And then we gonna come follow you. No. It's not gonna happen, because you still have power over the kids. If you want these guys to get it all together and go fight and conquer the world, and then, they're successful, they're great, but you still have control over the kids and you're teaching the kids to be dysfunctional. You're just going to tear down the community that they're given, which is the problem that predominantly these men are actually talking about. Jameson, what's going on? Another thing about that power dynamic, women have a problem with this. Mothers in particular. I'm not talking about women who are not mothers. Because I was listening to, on a panel and the sister was talking about this. On George's panel, actually. With Topaz was talking about it. Women co-sign other women using their quote-unquote power to keep fathers out of their children's lives. and they congregate and come together with an agreement to do that, with an agreement to override fathers. And if a guy shows up and is like, I'm not having it, you're going to call who? The police, your lawyer, file a police report. But you're telling these same men to go out and beat the courts, beat the system, beat the cops, and you'll respect them. This is utterly ridiculous. Men don't trust women with that ideology. And I'm not going to lie, as a father, it puts you in a bad predicament because of not just feminism, but chivalry. Because if you feel like your kid is in a bad position and it's your child, even if the child is with the mother, and you go to protect your child doesn't come first. No. He's a man comes first, and he's dangerous because he's a man and she's a woman. He's a father protecting his child goes out the window. He's more of a threat to the woman and child than she is, even though she's teaching bad habits. This power dynamic is an issue because guys got to learn how to tread lightly and softly and go around these things. American Brazilian, what's going on? Guys are trying to figure out how to navigate all of their frustrations, all of the depression, all of the time wasted. Because at the end of the day, guess what? If these children don't work out well, guess who is going to get blamed on? The father for not being there. And you got guys who perpetuate the stereotype who aren't there for their kids. I don't care if you don't even care for the woman and you don't like her, so you don't want to be around the kid. No. That ain't the problem. Well, that is the problem, rather. You made the kid, you be there for the kid. You might not like her, but you're going to have to make an effort whether you like it or not. That's your kid. You can't go around saying you was a fatherless child and you have issues because of your fatherlessness and then say, I don't like her, so I'm going to perpetuate that cycle. You're going to have to fight that cycle. It's an unfair fight, but you're going to have to fight it nonetheless. Now, for you ladies who like, yeah, you got to fight for your kids, I'm going to tell y'all something. A lot of y'all are complete, utter idiots because you're using the power of the system you got to fight me to be a father. This is what y'all doing. Fight me, argue with me, go to court with me until a white man tell me I got to do it. I ain't going to do it. And why am I bringing up this power dynamic when it comes to the black family? Because this is what you teach your children, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. This is why you don't see us working in the community together. The trust isn't there until white people tell us to trust each other. The respect isn't there until white people tell us to respect each other. You need to stand up to that white man, but you need to praise that white man. What are you doing? You don't need to respect that black man. He ain't nobody. Okay. But if the chips are down, that black man owes you something. Okay. I got you, Donnell. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because when you strip men of being fathers to their children, you want businessmen, you want entrepreneurs, you strip them of their first ownership, their family, their children. You took ownership, you stole ownership away from them, whether you like it or not. Playing a game. And it'd be one thing if this game worked. Mahogany, how you doing, Shug? It'd be one thing if this game worked. If the parenting aspect of single parenting worked, a lot of guys couldn't say a damn thing. But for the vast majority, it doesn't work. So this fighting to keep fathers away is not a good idea. So now these guys have no sense of ownership, even with their own children. But you think these type of guys who can't even have ownership over their own children are going to be your businessmen, your entrepreneurs, your go-getters, your movers, your shakers, your greatest minds. You strip them of the first thing you strip them of something that could depress them for life. They don't even have a family, but you want them to build a family, build a business for a family that they don't have? No, they're going to be out here aimless at some point. Curtis, what's going on? Because if you want ownership, you have to have in legacy, you need somebody to pass it down to. If you stripped of your children, who are you passing anything down to? Who are you working for? What are you seeing is generations of men of all groups, to be perfectly honest, who have kids and they're working just to finish paying off child support. That's it. Because you can't give a business to the kid. Why? Because the kid has probably been turned against you so much. If you gave them a business, they'll ruin it out of spite because mama taught them to hate. Not even understanding the benefit that a successful business will bring to their future family. Problem. But you want ownership. Now, this other thing about ownership, because people inherit, property, inherited businesses, and inherited money. We do have too much of that raising in the sun mentality where I'm going to flip my inheritance because I want to be important. I want to be seen. And when I say important, I mean I just want to be seen. I want to be seen as if I got money, not that I actually have it. So there's no ownership, no land, no property. Ownership is not vehicles. I hate to break the news to you unless you got a classics. The vast majority of us probably grew up in homes that the family doesn't even own anymore. I wish that were true, Miss J, but it ain't. I wish that were true. And the only reason I'm saying I wish it was true because I know black men who have daughters, whose daughters wanted to live with their dads, but their dad said, you know what? I can't raise you to be a woman. You got to be with your mama. You might not like it, but she's more equipped to make you a woman than I am. That's not my job. You don't see mothers doing that. But the ownership is the issue in the black family. We taught, not to ball, not to own, to ball, not to own. I understand having children outside of wedlock is foolish, but guess what? We're a community of fools. Why we're not taught to get married right now? So yeah, you get it, man. Yeah, exactly, fam. So now you want to own something. If you want to own something, it might take time. It might take effort. It's going to definitely take sacrifice. Definitely take sacrifice. But we're not willing to make those sacrifices. You looked at as a sucker for signing your name on a dotted line and putting your responsibility on a long-term thing that you can own something to pass down. People don't get it. And when I talk about ownership, we don't even know about property swapping. Some of you don't realize your family didn't realize they didn't. Excuse me, I'm going too fast. They've inherited property that if you don't want it no more, that's okay. Sell it. Don't sell it just for cash. Swap it out with another property. An old property years ago, you can get a new property, but they have the same value maybe because of placement. What's up, Jamar? That way you get something a little newer, even if you don't like your old home anymore, or it might be in a great location. Great location. And if it's in a great location, they're going to build in that area again, and the price is going to shoot up. You could just sit on it. I was listening to Master P, and I was talking about that. Master P talked about when he was in Baton Rouge, he bought a good strip of land on the side of the freeway because he knew eventually they was going to build something. and they built a mall over there. And they had to pay him a pretty penny for the land to build a mall. And he's like, well, how long would that take? He said 10 years. A lot of us are not thinking like that. I'm not even saying, and I get all of us, we don't have money like that, but here's the thing. If you have an opportunity like that, thank you, y'all. And salute to C Boogie too. If he's in here, if he ever sees this. Salute to him. Salute to all the brothers, man. Seriously. But we're not thinking about that. Because this idea that the state of the black family, the idea that you can't take it with you. You can't take it with you, but that don't mean you in with nothing. You in with something to give to the next generation. Now that I got past the ownership part, we got to talk about what I talked about with BGS putting up the thing about quickly for me, because I really needed to see that. The black family talks too much about individualism. Individualism. Not a good idea. Mauricio, how you doing? Tony, what's going on? It's not a good idea. I'm going to tell you why, as far as the family, it's not a good idea. Because when you raise a bunch of individuals, you can't have one of those. You can't raise somebody to be an individual, and the most successful one, you want them to be a group-minded team player to take care of the other individuals. That's not how it works. Absolutely not how it works. Sure thing, what's going on? Exactly. You can only do so much by yourself, but here's the problem. People don't want to be a team. We're raised to be individuals, but we want to build a team around us. But you don't want to, but a lot of people are not raised and want to be a teammate. Mama Zeke, what's going on? You don't want to be a teammate. Too many chiefs and not enough Indians. See, a lot of people don't want to talk about, you want to be LeBron James, right? You want to be the chosen one. LeBron has a season, just like everybody else. When his season is over, it's going to be over. It's going to be what was. But he's an individual. But he was a smart individual. He created a team early. Now, the thing about individualism is we don't want to admit we're breeding laziness. Because part of the being individuals in the state of the black family is, I want you to be an individual because I don't want to pour into you. I don't want to make sure you study. I don't want to teach you things that'll make you better. I don't want to give you vital information. I don't want to invest in you. Get it on your own. Figure it out. But then you turn around and say, look, how we not competing. All these other kids were in families or in communities or in groups that invested in them. They didn't tell these other kids that they were individuals. Unless those kids were rogue. They're not raising kids to be rogue. And see, when we talk about, and I'm not going to lie, individualism can make you smart as an individual. Because I see a lot of people who you would consider unintelligent when you come across them, but they're in a family and their family is successful. Why? Because they're a group. Everybody has a position, everybody has a job, everybody has a duty. Even if they're not bright. Well, then what's going on? Even if they're not bright, they got a position and they're doing the right thing. And it keeps the machine moving. See, here's the problem. And then when we teach individuals, what else do we teach? Everybody go do your own thing, right? So if you out here going doing your own thing, you're going to teach the next generation what? Go do their own thing. But then where the businesses? Where the black men for the other black men? Well, here's the problem. Everybody was taught to do their own thing. Where the black women? They're doing their own thing. The only time we coming together is for what? Leisure. We come together for leisure, not building lives. That's the part of individualism that you forget about. I'm good to hang out with. I'm good to have fun with. But I'm not committing to you because I'm an individual. I'm not respecting the idea of teamwork because I'm an individual. I'm not going to be really in this relationship because I'm an individual. This is temporary contract work. Now, I got to touch back on this a little bit because this is the whole, in my opinion, part of the foundation of the gender war. You were taught to be an individual. You were taught to use the other group. And now we grown, thinking it's okay. It's cool to use the other group. It's cool to manipulate the other group. It's cool to have bad intentions for the other group. But we need to come together, right? That's what we need to do, right? I scratch your back and you walk off with your back scratched. And that's what we're doing. See, the family taught the gender war, teaching little boys, are the enemy. And at the same, see, you taught little boys to be players and taught them that that little girls going to always look at them as the enemy. and my bad, and taught them to be chivalrous to the girls too. I knew what's going on. And taught them to always take care of women. But you didn't teach, and then at the same time, you taught the little girls that the boys are the enemy. You can't depend on them, and you need to take care of yourself. But use him because he's gonna be out to use you. So how the heck you gonna get any kind of continuity and synergy from that? So when you out here playing, using, dissing, and dismissing the other group, all right, Luana, what's happening? When you out here playing games and dissing the other group, what goes on in this? In the family aspect, what? They ain't nobody. They ain't nobody. They not real. They're not human. Their feelings don't count. There will be no karma for this because they're really not. They're insignificant. They're in my group. These are my people. But I could do what I want with them because they're insignificant. But then you want to play victim because ain't no fun when a rabbit got the gun. So now the gender's at war, and the war goes to the kids. And we teach the kids to be at war with opposite sex. And not so much, the gender war is so bad. Guess what? Now you're teaching kids to be fluid in their gender, and love is love, and it doesn't matter. And whatever you feel, you feel. Find love in your own group, in your own gender. Shut up. Can't even find love that way because you taught them to hate their gender too. And they won't procreate. And this is part of the state of the black family. But we want to act like it's not true, right? It's not true. This is just what it is. This is just how the vast majority of the families are operating. We can see all the effects of it, but you know what? It's not true because I don't like how it makes me feel. Real cute. Real cute. So, but at the same time, the gender war was also taught that guess what? Them men are your men, them women are your men, your women. And even if you were taught to dislike them, you were taught to be attracted to them because you can fetishize your own. She got a big old booty. You know? Yeah. Keisha got a big old butt. I told you I'd be true. But Lisa got a big old butt. And I'm leaving you. Right? Girl, you see the printing and thing? Uh-huh. Oh, he's so sexy. He my man crush Monday in the bedroom. I don't like these dudes ain't no good, but oh, he's so sexy. You know, all he is eggplant and money. I'm gonna take that though. Ain't gotta respect him. But he better grab me by the back of my neck and go to work. And hopefully he get me pregnant. Oh man. Amy, what's going on? Yeah, that sucks, don't it? 504, stand up. Ah! So this is the part that we don't want to talk about. But let's get to this aspect of the state of the black family that we don't want to talk about too. Oh yeah, that's the LL Cool J song. Absolutely. What up, LC? The state of the black family as it's been going is ineffective. Other kids. Yeah, you know, you see, mahogany, don't silence, don't say that. Are the kids the best that they can be? No, it's ineffective. The kids' education is not where it should be. It's ineffective. Do you have the amount of successful adults that you should probably have from a family structure that we currently have? No, you don't. It's ineffective. Are the elderly taken care of? No, it's ineffective. The women say, I don't feel protected. Well, the family structure that we have in the community is ineffective then, right? Tone, I would, but I don't think I'm gonna be on here super long, fam. I don't think I'm gonna be on here super long. I've been on here for like almost 40 minutes. I still got some stuff I gotta do. Y'all know D Wade tripping. It's ineffective. When you get kids who make it out and they try to create a family, can they maintain a family? The vast majority of us cannot. So our relationship status is ineffective. You know? Exactly. I get your hardcore. Like it's ineffective. We taught ineffective relationship models. You know, thanks, Tom. We taught ineffective relationship models. We taught ineffective financial models. We taught ineffective, how can I say this? Ineffective ideologies. Are we mentally where we should be? No, because what's going on is ineffective. And I'm not just talking, I'm leaving America's racism and stereotypes out of this. Because, you know, what we can do, we can still do. So what the problem is, we know what's ineffective, but we keep doing it. Thank you, Alex Steele. We know what's ineffective. We know sending the girls to school and wanting them to get an education is not benefiting the community as a whole. It's ineffective. We know, how can I say this? Not making sure the boys learn, it puts them in a dangerous spot because you're going to either get athletes who failed to make it for the most part, men who are productive men in society, but they didn't reach the upper echelon great status, so you're not going to respect them, even though they probably could be the protectors and providers for your community. That's who you should be looking at. So you don't respect those guys. And then you're going to get guys who are complete failures. Not necessarily complete failures, but people who are criminals who you're going to wind up respecting, but they might not be able to be any benefit to the community per se. You get what I'm saying? So it's ineffective. You know? So here's a problem. But we keep doing it because it makes people feel good. It makes them feel empowered. It makes them feel important. Hey man, what's going on? My bad. I mean, it makes them feel good. Gregory, what's up? So now you know all this stuff don't work, but you don't want to do something different because if you do something different, what will it say? I don't know. That what you was doing was wrong and it was ineffective, right? You weren't the best parent because your method didn't work. You weren't the best family because your method didn't work. You weren't the best support system because your methods didn't work. Because if you a family who got the generation under you and you got, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 kids that wind up being adults and you're looking around, how successful are they? And look at the percentage. And if you got, I don't, 40% of them, 50% of them actually wind up being productive citizens in society. Then you got to look, how many of these people did we help? Huh. 25, half of the 50% is who you actually help. So the people that you didn't help are more effective than the people that you did help. But you want those people to come back and help everybody, which makes it, by the way, more ineffective. 36, what's happening? Because now you want people you didn't want and you tossed aside and you pushed away to be the person to build it, to bring you to the promised land. A promised land that when you drop them off in the wilderness. What is that? What is their obligation to you? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Thanks, 36. Now, what I'm about to say might tick off some folks, but here's the thing. The state of the black families is what the guys are talking about, which y'all, about being traditional. Even some of the women are talking about traditionalism, conservatism, is really patriarchy. Because the matriarchy ain't work. And it don't need 10 more years to figure it out, 15 more years to figure out. This next generation going to do it. No. No. Because we came to a matriarchy in some way. You could say we were a matriarchy in the way the families being ran, but financially it was a patriarchy because the men always made the most money. To this day, still sound like Deontay Wilder. To this day, I ain't gonna do it like that. Mr. Hakeem, what's going on? So now you got a black, the state of the black family whose fear is a group of black men saying we're gonna start anew, and we're gonna start a patriarchy basically wherever we go. If every dude was like Nipsey Hussle, having both the street and business, JC, how would the black community change if every dude was like Nipsey Hussle, having both the street and business savviness? If every dude was like Nipsey Hussle, they wouldn't be here, fam. That's a bad look. Was Nipsey Hussle a street and business savvy? Yeah, but guess what? The black community didn't rock with Nipsey like that until he died. And he was the idea of what you want, right? A street businessman. We got to stop exalting people like Nipsey Hussle because we didn't exalt him when he was living. We didn't. Robert Smith is living. Do we like him like that? No. He did more than Nipsey Hussle. Bill Cosby did way more than Nipsey Hussle. But, we're not going to say that, right? We're not going to say that. But let's not get somebody like Bill. Let's take him out the mix. Tom Joyner did way more than Nipsey Hussle. But we're not going to respect that. You get what I'm saying? LeBron James did actually more than Nipsey Hussle. We in the same generation. We're not going to say that. Jalen Rose, yeah, did more than Nipsey Hussle. I'm not dissing Nipsey Hussle though, but I'm telling you, this is ineffective. That mindset is ineffective. What we need is less people wanting to be like Nipsey. Because what I found interesting, and I want y'all to think about this, and I hate to use him as an example because he's no longer here. When he died, all of a sudden, they got buildings in New York that they turned blue. Really? Wow. Wow. New York, he's in L.A. They in New York. Oh, we're going to turn this blue for Nipsey. You represent gangbanging in the NBA. Wow. You know, because remember, Russell Westbrook put up the 2020 triple-double, representing for Nipsey, the 60s, right? I get he representing this guy, but you still kind of glorifying gangbanging. The funeral was just a gangbanging endeavor. I hate to say that, but that's what it was. Everybody ain't got to be a gangster, man, or a former gangster. This is what I mean by, we talking about patriarchy. L, what was going on? The type of behavior. Well, Pretty Priscilla, let me explain something to you. These mindsets always existed, but being cool in our community trumps being realistic. So let me get back to this patriarchy. L.A.R, what's going on? You can't want these guys to be protectors and providers, but then at the same time, you want them to be gangsters. Don't work that way. Because if you really want to be true about the gangster lifestyle, most of the women in the gangster lifestyle ain't protected and provided for in the end. Even in the mob. The Italians, the Irish, the Jewish, the Hispanic. Those women aren't protected. They don't. This ain't the movies. This ain't the Sopranos. People don't wind up living great lives at the end of the day. They had a great season. That's it. So I know you're not talking about me, Priscilla. I get it. I'm using what you're saying as an example. Sure, don't. I don't really get at people in general like that, but I just use it as an example. So it's not nothing personal. I just want to, even when they put up the thing about Nipsey, it's nothing personal. I'm just using what's said as an example because I don't know the whole thing that went on prior to that. Okay. But let's get to this patriarchy thing, right? This whole community could change overnight if it was just patriarchal. I got you, Jason. So I got you, JC. It ain't dissing you either. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you and everything. But this is just a moment to talk, and I'm talking. Dion, what's going on? Because you can't say the community is a matriarchy, and sometimes they call it gynocracy. They call it that too. But the same women in the community and the same mothers and matriarchs, when it doesn't work out, they say what? They blame the men. So you got a group of men like, we ain't gonna play this game no more. Either I run the show, I'm gonna start from scratch running the show. Because matriarchy don't work. And every other group in America is a patriarchy. Every other group that we consider has successful aspects in the world is a patriarchy. That's what it is. You can't say you get turned on by men who are in charge and men who are in power, but when the men say they go take charge in your own community, in your own family, all of a sudden you're scared to death, scared to look. Because there ain't no such thing. We know the rest. So that's the state of the black family. The state of the black family, if we want to be successful, we're going to have to be a patriarchy. That's what it is. And I understand something that I shouldn't have to say, and it's going to sound disgusting that I say it. Some sisters going to be upset about that. I'm not saying all, some, because they want to be matriarchs. And I'm going to tell y'all what some of y'all have done, whether y'all know it or not. Some of y'all broke up the families just like slave masters. And there are men who are grown now who don't want who don't want their kids to be in that situation, who didn't want to be that kid. There are women who don't want to have kids per se, or want to have kids because they can break up the family, the power of being able to break up the family like the slave master. What do I mean by that? The slave master took your kid and used the law to do it and let you cry. What do you think some of these single mothers have been doing? I want to be a mother. They didn't want to be families. So now motherhood and matriarchy is synonymous with not wanting families to most men. So this is why the guys want a patriarchy, because you got to want to be a wife and be part of a family to build a family with. And this is, I guess, part of the fear, like these guys are tripping. No, they're really not tripping. They're not tripping. They're sick of watching generations of kids come up and be left in the dust. Hold up, Era. What you said, fam? Fam, yeah, I get that. My bad, Era. I got you, fam. We got to discuss it though. Well, I'm going to discuss it today, rather. You know. So now we got generation after generation after generation of dysfunctional family ideology. And that's disgusting. But because personally, in my personal opinion, people have been benefiting off the fractured family in our community. It's been beneficial financially for people. It's been beneficial for people's egos. Not having a patriarchy, what I mean. Not having a patriarchy has been beneficial financially for folks because you can get paid for being a mother, a matriarch rather. It's been beneficial for egos because, you can be a bed buck if you're not head of a household. You can just go around slinging sausages to society. Not a big deal, right? MOT, what's happening? How you doing, fam? How you doing? And I got to think, and MOT said something recently, if y'all haven't heard, he was like, game, most other groups of men don't talk about game. Game is for guys who failed at life, basically, who need to hustle their way into some panties because they're not really doing anything with their life. I got to salute the MOT for saying that, because can't get around that. So this is the part of quote unquote patriarchy, right? I've never seen or experienced being from the suburbs. Hold up. First of all, I can tell you right now. What's up, Ben? I see in the suburbs, I'm talking about the black family, but what you think all these school shootings are involved around? Single parenthood. The vast majority of school shootings come from single parent households, and those kids ain't even black. That's the crazy part about it. So it's not good in society anyways. Kids aren't being taught. Another thing about needing a patriarchy, and I'm gonna say this part is, we need a patriarchy because the men are better teachers than the women. See, women are great parent. Women are supposed to be nurturers and parents, but when you talk to women about motherhood, it's in babies. These are my babies. This is my baby. I know how to take care of a baby. You don't. They're not training children to be productive adults. They're talking about babies. I'm asking, is the social structure environment? No, it's really not. It's really not, Priscilla. It's just the idea, because you see broken families in the suburbs, because I live in the suburbs. I see the outbursts in the suburbs. The only thing about it is, because it's the suburbs, the police and news look at it differently. You can make a suburban kid, a suburban rebel, or a suburban child who is unruly gets way more passes than an urban child. But it's the same behavior. I've seen these kids garage up, sitting in the garage smoking weed. The whole block smell like weed. That's something you can't do in a quote unquote urban environment. And these kids ain't black to do this. You get what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Now, let me get to this part though. When it comes to, how can I say this? The cycles. See, because we have all of these cycles, these things happening. Oh, generational curse. Why do we keep having generational curses? Because people keep participating in generational curses, and people don't want to break the cycles because they're participating in it. You know why kids are crazy? Well, okay. Well, I'll get back to that in a second, Priscilla. You know what? I'll handle it what you asking now, and I'll tell you why. What I see. You're only speaking of black families, white kids, black families in the suburbs. Let me tell you. Okay. When I see black families in the suburbs, they're either a single parent household who made it to the suburbs, and their family is out there trying to give their children a better educational life, and they may be able to afford the neighborhood, or they're struggling to keep afloat. Do the children wind up doing better? No. Because a lot of times, unfortunately, it seems like children who come from poor neighborhoods wind up making it to the middle class, and the kids from the middle class seem like they fall and regress. At the best they stay. Now, I've seen some suburban kids who actually took it to a higher than their parents took it, but that's a minority. I hate to say that. Now, let me get back to this cycle. We got all these generational curses, but people keep perpetuating these curses. Why is that? Because you like the curse. You enjoy the curse. The dad, that's your community, sugar. Your community. That's not the vast majority of America, though. The vast majority of America don't work for the government or tech. You're in an enclave. It's good that you're in one, but you're still in one. I'm not talking about the enclaves. There are enclaves, though. He said, because a curse has to be broken. Yeah. So here's the problem with these curses. They're not broken. You're not trying to break them. You're trying to find somebody who's going to come up after you, and they're going to break the generational curse. And you're going to benefit off of them breaking the generational curse while you still participate in the same doggone curse. So you want to bring the curse to the person who's breaking the generational curse. So you wind up with the same cycles. I got you, Priscilla. I got you. Understood. Alfonso, what's up? So now we got the same curse over and over and over again. And here's the problem with the cycle. The people that break the curse, you start hating on them. They think they better than us. Do you know how hard it is for a person to break generational curses and then maintain, and keeping that curse broken? But instead of saluting them for what it took to do that, you don't like them. Fly Birdie, what's going on? It's a freedom to choose. Yeah, some people do think it's freedom to choose. I'm going to do what I want. Personally, I don't believe the freedom to choose. What's up, sister? You a square. It's all good, sugar. When you have these curses, the funny thing about having these curses, Diesel, what's up? The funny thing with having these curses that are broken, or the people that break them, I've seen so many people break generational curses, and then the family try to teach the curse to their children behind their back. And then you wonder why people don't rock with each other and get along. See, we don't want to talk about the cycle, because when you break the cycle, you got people who want the generation under you to redo the cycle. I don't know why I'm doing this. Don't ever believe a grown person that say they don't know why they doing that. They know exactly why they doing that. If obesity is a generational curse and a cycle, you know exactly why you cooking all that food every week. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on. If the curse is quote unquote single parented households, you know exactly why you keep doing that, because you keep encouraging the next group to do it. If the families is broke from one generation to the next, somebody break it, you know exactly why you got people who want everybody to ball out on somebody else's money and then everybody be broke again. Crazy. So we got a problem. So since we got all these cycles, because when I'm talking about the state of the black family, this is part of the state. See, if you want a family, you want to function, you're going to want a functional family. You want businesses in your communities, you're going to have a family to have businesses. You're going to have a family to have corporations. You're going to have rules. Because one of the things that cracked me up recently, I had no idea about the Meghan Markle and the Prince Harry thing. Now they ain't in the royal family no more. Do you know how stupid that is? You want to be in a royal family your whole life. You have a royal wedding, and now you in the family, and now you don't want to be royalty no more. But you want royalty to pay for the rest of your life. You know how stupid that is? But I'm using that as an example for the state of the family. I want to do it. I want to make my own way and do it on my own. But I want you to foot the bill. How we gonna have? You don't want a community if you don't want a family. And let's be honest about something. Because it's also a cycle to find a man who's going to pay for everything while you blow it all. It's also a cycle to treat the people who doing you right wrong. It's also a cycle. That's also a cycle. That's also a cycle. We need to build together. We don't need to build nothing together because you ain't willing to build a family together. Think about that. You want to have a real family conversation? Since I'm grown right now. Since I'm grown, what if you want to build together? You might be grown and you might have to get married to somebody. You might have to have a blended family. And guess what? You're going to have both sides of children on insurance policies, and you're gonna have to cover it. You're gonna have to cover your wife, kids. They're gonna have to inherit some of your money. Your husband, kids, gonna have to inherit some of the money. See, you don't want to talk about building because you want to get married nowadays. That's a cycle too. I want to get married and I want these people to take on my family and give them money, but I don't want their kids to have nothing. But you wanted that to be a family. Oh, okay. Okay. It's a dub. But if you want to talk, we're gonna talk some real stuff from time to time. But I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get out of here because the state of this black man is I need to make some macaroni and cheese. So I just wanted to get this off my chest and say these things because at the end of the day, you really want to start having real conversations about the black family and the black community, SYSBM, gender war. It starts financially, business, power, racial dynamics, diaspora, and all that other stuff. A revolution that will not be televised. You're gonna have to start right with the family. Because if you're gonna make it about the family, it's not about you no more. You want to build a black community, you're gonna have to take your ego out of the equation with a black family. That's right. Weave gotta go. Sneakers gotta go. Uh-oh. Side chicks gotta go. Uh-oh. Using, abusing, and misusing child support gotta go. Using children as pawns gotta go. You might have to how can I say this? Not having anything to pass down gotta go. Having your children pray for your funeral gotta go. You not having life insurance policy gotta go. Looking for somebody to die so you can inherit their stuff so you can ball out and leave the children destitute when you have grandchildren. Gotta go. Not thinking 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years ahead of beyond your life. Gotta go. And if you can't think past an orgasm, shut up. But I'm going to go make some macaroni and cheese on this. Thank y'all for even listening. I appreciate y'all. Catch y'all on the next one. And salute to everybody. Peace.